So what we are doing with writing project 3, it's a culmination of the semester projects. So our first project, and this explains it right here in this section, our first project, we identified a social issue or phenomenon in a community that we belong to. Okay, and our second writing project is where we looked at that writing project more carefully by inviting experts around the table and listening to what these experts had to say about it so that we can learn about what this issue, this problem, or this phenomenon looked like, and we shared that with an audience. And now, hopefully, you've all been developing, your sturdy knowledge base of information that you have gained as you've studied this, and through the experts and also through your personal experience, and you have opinions on what should be done or how this should be applied. And now is your chance to persuade someone that your opinions are valid. And what this is a picture of right here is Aristotle. And Aristotle, he's considered the father of rhetoric or persuasive language. And he's defined rhetoric as the ability in each particular case to see the available means of persuasion. That means in every specific situation, there are very specific strategies to persuade, and you already know this. Take, for instance, the situation where you need to borrow money. If you approach a friend to ask that friend to lend you some money, you would cater your language, your style, your word choice to best appeal to that friend. And you would make a very different argument if you were approaching your parents or if you were approaching a boss. Okay, so you already know how to cater your language and the style and the content of an argument according to the intended audience that you are trying to persuade. Sometimes we do this so naturally out there in the wild, out there in the real world, that we don't even think of what we're doing. And so when we are asked to do this in writing, it feels awkward, but you already do this. And so what this assignment asks you to do is to take the sources. You're going to include 3 sources. You're going to write an argumentative essay, but you are going to choose the intended audience. Who do you know, what group of people need to hear your opinion? And remember, you're not going to be preaching to the choir. You're not going to be preaching to people who already agree with you. You're going to pick an audience who needs to learn, who may not be informed about this issue or phenomenon, or who disagree with it in some cases, and you need to choose them and cater your language, cater your whole argument to that audience. And so looking down here, if you read through here, this is going to be 1,000 to 1,500 words. It only has to be 1,000 words. You're going to incorporate 3 sources, but all of these choices depends on who you choose. Let's go right here, who you choose as your intended audience. Because let's say you choose an audience of high school students, okay? You're going to create an argument. You're going to include different types of evidence, different types of language, different types of content to persuade that audience of high schoolers, rather than if somebody else chose to persuade, oh my goodness, some kind of professional board or some kind of, I don't want you to use an academic audience, but some other kind of professional audience. You would cater your language. And so read over this. There's a few, little comments and tips about catering your language. It has all of the criteria for this assignment. And we'll talk about audience a lot